Hi, everyone. My name is Roger Chiocchi, and I'm the author of the Brushy Ridge Militia. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the story behind the story. Began, unfortunately, on December 14th, 2012. I was at home working, and on TV comes this bulletin that in a small town in Connecticut, there had been a shooting at an elementary school. Over 20 people were killed. Children, like at the ages of 6 and 7. That afternoon, Barack Obama spoke to the nation in a very heart-wrenching speech. A few days later, he visited Newtown at a big community meeting at the high school, and he went and bent over backwards, talked to each parent individually. That being said, it made me wonder, why do things like this happen? What motivates someone to do it? How can they get a gun so easily with the power to annihilate students and teachers in a school, a most sacred place? Fast forward a few years, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, almost the same situation. Made me wonder again, how can things like this happen? How can our society allow it to happen? A few days later, there was a major town meeting. All the dignitaries were there, congressmen, senators, mayors, the entire student population, the teachers. And at the end, there was a Q&A session. And many of the people on the podium were received a lot of donations from the pro-gun lobby. But this teacher stood up. First thing she did was she read the Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And then she looked up at that panel stridently and she asked the question, what militia was that young man part of? How was he well regulated? Two incisive questions. No one had a real answer for it. But it made me think even more. Why is the word militia in a amendment that allows people to use guns? There must be something to it. I mean, over the years, I believe that those 27 words have been resculpted into mean something else. But originally, back in when the Bill of Rights was crafted, it had a certain meaning. And that's the basis or the crux of the Brushy Ridge Militia. A set of parents go through all the stages of grief after a school shooting. And when they go to lobby Congress for more restrictive gun laws, they run into a stone wall, particularly the Speaker of the House, Fred Grantham, who takes much money from the gun lobby. They are caught at the intersection of grief and helplessness at this point, and they decide to do something. Let's reincarnate those words of the Second Amendment and let's form our own militia. Let's take the Speaker of the House hostage and force him to watch the hallway footage, the morgue photos of the victims and the destruction thrust upon the community in this school shooting. And that's sort of the thrust of the book. The parents do it not because they want to advocate vigilantism. They do it because they want to expose the hypocrisy of the Second Amendment. Obviously, the parents get apprehended at some point. They go through the court process. And at a certain point, it ends up in the hands of the Supreme Court. So I won't give away anything more. But that's the story behind the story of the Brushy Ridge Militia. Thanks for watching.